Think about this. You're standing at the altar promising forever. You picture cozy nights, shared dreams, a constant companion by your side until the very end. Marriage, right? The ultimate guarantee of never being alone. But what if that picture is a lie? What if saying "I do" doesn't automatically unlock a lifetime of true companionship? Could the person you vowed to spend forever with actually leave you feeling more isolated than ever before? It sounds harsh, maybe even cynical. Yet for many, the reality of marriage falls far short of the fairy tale promise. Imagine Melissa, years into her marriage, sitting across the dinner table from her husband. They barely speak. He's engrossed in his phone. She's lost in her thoughts. They share a house, a life even, but not a connection. He's physically present, but emotionally miles away. Melissa's story isn't unique. So is tying the knot a sure ticket to companionship? Well, Stoicism, that ancient philosophy known for its practical wisdom, offers a surprising perspective. It challenges us to rethink everything we assume about relationships, happiness, and even the very definition of companionship. Forget the rom-com version of marriage for a moment. Let's dive deep into how Stoic principles can not only save your marriage, but also help you build truly meaningful connections, whether you're single or in a decades-long relationship. Later, I'll share some of that perspective, but first, let's delve into an unavoidable truth. Many are married, yet they still feel that familiar sting of loneliness. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack why marriage isn't a magic bullet against loneliness. We'll explore how Stoicism provides a roadmap to genuine connection, one that's based not on expectations, but on something much more powerful and lasting: personal virtue and a focus on what we can control. Consider this our journey to building stronger, more fulfilling relationships, starting with a healthy dose of reality and a sprinkle of ancient wisdom. Are you ready to explore the truth about marriage and companionship? Stick around. It might just change the way you see relationships forever. So marriage isn't a guaranteed ticket to companionship. Sounds harsh? Maybe, but it's a truth worth facing. This leads us to something crucial. How do Stoic principles actually work in relationships? Forget fleeting happiness based on someone else. We aim for something deeper, enduring connection rooted in virtue, a connection that withstands external storms. Why? Because it's built on something you control. Stoicism invites us to rethink how we connect. It's not about dependency. It's about building a relationship where both individuals are strong, independent, and committed to a shared sense of values. Imagine a partnership where fulfillment comes from living your best self alongside someone doing the same. The Stoic lens reframes our expectations. Marriage isn't about filling a void or finding the one to complete you. Instead, it becomes a voluntary association of two virtuous people choosing to navigate life together. This shift alone, game changer. We become responsible for our own happiness. Suddenly the pressure is off. This understanding completely reshapes how we approach our marriages, doesn't it? It's about finding strength in ourselves, then sharing it. Let's dive into the Stoic secrets that can transform loneliness into the deepest companionship. Because next, we're going to explore the very first key that unlocks genuinely fulfilling relationships. So what's the very first key to unlocking those genuinely fulfilling relationships we talked about? It all boils down to this: understanding the dichotomy of control. What is that? Simply put, it's recognizing what you can control and what you can't. This is huge. Think about it. How much energy do we waste trying to change our partners, trying to make them see things our way? How often do arguments erupt because someone didn't act as we expected? Way too much. The Stoics understood this struggle centuries ago. Epictetus said, "The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals, not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control." In marriage, this means focusing on your own actions, your own virtues, your own reactions. You control these 100%. You control your integrity, your kindness, your patience. You don't control your partner's emotions, their past traumas, or even their choices. You can influence, yes, but never control. That's their responsibility. When you accept this, something amazing happens. You free yourself. You shift your energy from frustration to empowerment. You stop fighting battles you can't win and start building the relationship you can win. The more you invest in your virtues, the more you can build the life and the relationship you desire. The next key involves communication. But now, in the context of the dichotomy of control, we can understand why that's so important. Up next, that brings us to a simple but game-changing truth. Reality rarely matches our expectations, especially in marriage. Think about it. You envision a lifetime of romance, support, and shared dreams. But what happens when daily life throws curveballs? When your partner doesn't react the way you imagined? This is where Stoicism offers a powerful perspective, understanding the gap between expectation and reality. It's not about lowering your standards, it's about aligning them with what's within your control. Expecting your partner to always agree with you is a recipe for frustration. Expecting them to always be in a good mood is even more unrealistic. The Stoic path is about focusing on your response to their actions. Can you be understanding, patient, communicative? The truth. Disappointment stems from unmet expectations. If you expect constant praise, you'll be crushed by criticism. If you expect unwavering support, you'll be devastated by moments of weakness. Stoicism doesn't eliminate disappointment, but it drastically reduces its power. It's about accepting that life and people are imperfect. What if you shifted your focus? What if, instead of expecting perfection, you focused on appreciating the good, on navigating the challenges with virtue? Then you'll realize that the only thing you can rely on is your reaction to things. The next crucial skill is communication, and it's more powerful than you think. So communication is key, right? But what happens when even the best conversations lead to, well, nowhere? What if you feel you're always hitting a wall? That's where practicing acceptance becomes a game changer. This isn't about resignation. It's not about giving up. It's about reality. Think of it like this. You can't control the weather, but you can choose to dance in the rain. Acceptance in marriage means acknowledging that your partner, like you, is imperfect. They have flaws, habits, and a past that shapes them. How do you actually do this? First, focus on your circle of control. You can't change your partner, but you can control your reactions, your words, and your actions. Second, practice amor fati, a love of fate. Embrace the present moment, even the challenges, as part of your journey. This doesn't mean liking the difficult times, but rather accepting them as opportunities for growth. Imagine your partner always leaves dishes in the sink. Annoying, right? Acceptance isn't about ignoring it. It's about deciding how you will respond. Will you nag? Or can you kindly ask them to rinse the dishes after they use them? Or can you gently put them in the dishwasher yourself? You get to choose. Acceptance, amor fati, isn't a passive act. It's active. It's courageous. It's the secret sauce to navigating marital storms. What's next? Realizing that constant conflict sucks the life out of a relationship, like a slow leak in a tire. Let's pump some air back in. Constant conflict, it's exhausting. Like trying to argue with a brick wall. Now, picture this. What if your marriage was built on something stronger, something unshakable? This brings us to the fourth Stoic secret: virtue. Virtue is the bedrock of a Stoic marriage. What does this even mean? Think of virtue as your guiding principles: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These aren't just nice words. They're the how of your marriage. How do you apply virtue? It's simple. Choose wisely how you react. Be brave enough to confront problems fairly. Treat your partner with respect. Control your impulses. Sound easy? It takes intention, always. Why virtue? Because emotions, fleeting. Feelings, they change. But virtue, that's a choice. That's a muscle you build. It's the unwavering force in your marriage. It is like the steel frame in a skyscraper. It provides essential support. Here's the game changer, though. When both partners embrace virtue, conflict changes. It becomes less reactive, more productive, less about winning, more about understanding. Let's dive deeper into the final main point. That conflict? It's feedback. It's showing you where you can grow. What if, instead of pointing fingers, you focused on being the best version of yourself within the marriage? This is key. Focus on your actions. Focus on your character. Sounds simple, right? Not always. It is a game changer, though. Nobody tells you this. The raw truth is, it's easier to blame. Blame your partner. Blame circumstances. But Stoicism teaches us radical responsibility. You control your effort, you control your integrity, and how you show up every single day. So, how do we actually do this? Let's break it down into 3 actionable steps that are going to make a practical difference in your marriage. First, practice self-awareness. Regularly reflect on your behavior during disagreements. Ask yourself, was I respectful? Did I truly listen? Was I acting out of anger or from a place of reason? This is like taking inventory of your emotional toolkit. Are your tools helping or hurting? Second, embody virtue daily. Act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Choose the virtuous path. This is where the steel frame of your relationship gets built. Are you building a fortress or a house of cards when challenges arise? Third, extend compassion to yourself and to your partner. Marriage is imperfect. You will both make mistakes. Forgiveness isn't just a nice idea, it's essential maintenance. Think of it like a car. You can't expect peak performance without regular upkeep and occasionally fixing problems. Now, here comes the most incredible thing. As you focus on personal growth, you'll inspire your partner. Virtue is contagious. They may just decide to level up too. So we've journeyed through the Stoic toolkit for a thriving marriage. What's the destination? A partnership built not just on vows, but on virtue. Forget the fairy tales. Real love is earned, cultivated, and constantly refined. Think of your marriage like a garden. You can't just plant it and forget it. It requires constant tending, weeding out resentment, watering it with compassion, adding sunlight of shared experiences. If you don't, weeds take over. Neglect sets in. This Stoic path isn't a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change. It's about progress, not perfection. What are the keys to making it stick? First, daily practice. Don't just read about virtue, live it. Ask yourself each night, where was I wise today? Where did I lack courage? How can I be more just and fair tomorrow? Second, unwavering self-responsibility. No more blame games. If there's a problem, focus on what you can control, your reaction, your effort. Now, this might sting at first, but here's where the magic happens. Taking ownership empowers you and changes the dynamic. Third, radical acceptance. Life throws curveballs, illness, job loss, unexpected challenges. Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot change. Focus your energy on what you can, the support you offer, the strength you show. Marriage doesn't magically guarantee companionship, but consistent effort and a commitment to become the best version of yourself. Now that's a recipe for a fulfilling, enduring partnership, something way more precious than any fairy tale. So we've journeyed through some powerful Stoic principles, right? We've seen how focusing on what you can control, practicing virtue daily, and accepting what you can't change can really transform not just you, but your marriage. Remember, it's about consistent effort, not instant perfection. Marriage isn't a fairy tale, but a garden that needs constant tending. Now picture this. You're not constantly battling over petty things. You approach challenges with calm, focusing on solutions instead of blame. Your partner sees you striving to be a better person, and that inspires them in return. That's the power we're handing you here. But this transformation doesn't magically happen by just watching this video. Stoicism is a practice, a journey. That's where you come in. Here's your call to action. Subscribe to the Married Stoics channel right now. That's right, hit that subscribe button. Why? Because we're dropping a new video every week packed with practical Stoic tips to strengthen your marriage. If you subscribe, you won't miss out on our next video where we'll be revealing the one Stoic exercise that saved my marriage. Plus, subscribing means you become part of a community of like-minded couples who are also committed to growth and connection. Seriously, join us, but don't stop there. Engage with us. Smash that like button to show YouTube this message matters. What's one thing you're going to start controlling today to improve your relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The first 50 comments get a shout out in our next video. And speaking of next videos, in our next video, we're diving deep into a killer technique that tackles the biggest marriage killer, communication breakdowns. We'll show you exactly how to use Stoic principles to understand, and more importantly, be understood by your partner. Remember, marriage is more than just a piece of paper. It's a commitment to a shared life, a shared purpose, and a shared path of growth. And a Stoic marriage is a strong marriage. So embrace Stoicism, transform your marriage, and live a more fulfilling life together.